Hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm wearing a lapel microphone because my other microphone doesn't work at the moment. So anyway, this is the intro to the Bio181 Hybrid Lab. I am your instructor. My name is Dr. Louis Obermiller. I got my PhD from Arizona State University in 2000 in molecular and cellular biology and biochemistry. And I'm going to sort of take you through a tour of what you can expect this semester, what are the ancillaries, in other words, the material that you need to be successful in this class, how the class runs, how you'll take your exams, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm just going to go to www, I don't even know why I'm typing that, mesacc.edu. And so if you go to mesacc.edu website, you'll notice that at the top, you probably see like a yellow circle on your end. I can't see that, but right here is Canvas. And you click on that, and it'll take you to Canvas, which is basically where we're going to do all the things this semester, except this video will probably be put on YouTube unless I can figure out how to put it on Panopto. So our class, the hybrid lab for the fall of 2017, which I probably shouldn't say that because I'm not going to use it again, but it's section 27691. So I've already set the class up and I've already published it. So I'm going to click on this, and this should come up as your class. Now your view is going to be different than mine. I can go to settings and I can go to student view, and you can see the view that you'll see. So this is going to be your view, but I can't show you as much stuff in this view. So I just want you to realize that your view is going to be a little bit different, but for the most part, it'll be very similar to mine. So I'm going to exit this. And so this is what you'll see. So your courses are over here. There's calendars that help you remember what dates things are due. And then you can email me in this, although I don't advise it because this Canvas email isn't linked to my actual email. And so I have to log on to Canvas to actually see if I got an email. Or sometimes it will push it to my email address, but I can't respond to it because the Canvas server isn't compatible with Gmail or whatever. So anyway, it's better to email me at the email address on the syllabus, which is obermiller@mesacc.edu. All right, with that said, there's a home button here, and you won't be able to add modules and stuff like that, but essentially on the home screen, it will have the student Canvas guide. One of your first extra credit assignments is to post an image of yourself on Canvas, not your cat or your dog or your mom, but you. And the reason is that we will only be spending a very limited amount of time together. You're only going to come to lab every other week. I won't see you during lecture at all, and so it's much easier for me to remember people's names if I can sort of match it to a face. And the same thing goes with your classmates. So that's why I give extra credit for people to post their picture on Canvas. So this will tell you how to do it. The Canvas guide isn't integrated with Canvas itself, so you have to click on this link. It'll take you to an outside link, and then you can just put post. Just click on Canvas, and you should search that, and then I should put a picture. Put profile. So this is probably good for you guys. So this tells you how to add a profile picture and use your account as a student. And basically upload a picture, you take a picture from your computer, and then just follow the upload requirements, and da-da, you'll have your picture into Canvas. So don't put this, right? That's not your face. I don't want to see a stuffed panda bear. Alright. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, you can email me again. It's obermiller@mesacc.edu. That's O-B as in boy, E-R-M-I-L-L-E-R. And I'll show you on the syllabus in a second as well. Okay. So let's go back. home. And okay, so this is the intro to the course. It basically is going to it talks to you about what you're getting yourself into with taking this Bio181 online. The class is I teach 2 other in-person classes at the same time, and so this class is run exactly the same. You guys will do exactly the same things in my in-person class. The only thing that's different is that you actually have to be motivated enough to watch the videos and watch the lectures. And one of the bad things about taking an online class is that you can't actively interact with me and ask questions during lecture. So I have videos of actual lectures that I'm doing, and the students will ask questions. The problem with this is that the camera systems were faulty at Red Mountain, and so in some of the videos the audio quality is poor, and some of the videos the video quality is poor. The camera won't zoom. Anyway, so this is a little history about me. You guys are going to need to order a kit for this course. It's to do the at-home labs. This is the link. I think it's $47 plus tax and shipping. And then this will tell you a little bit more about e-learning if you've never done an online class before. So make sure that you purchase this by August 31st. And you will need to get a textbook. You can use any version of Campbell Biology, and all of this is laid out in the syllabus. 8th edition or newer. Any of those work. That's if you're a bio, if you're going to take 182. So if you're pre-professional, like pre-health, like pre-medicine, pre-pharmacy, biology degree. If you're taking nursing or like vet tech or dental tech or something like that, then you only need a half edition, which they sell in the bookstore. And I'll go over that in the syllabus in a second. So anyway, I'd like for you to read through this when you get a chance, and it'll sort of help answer questions that you might have about distance learning, e-learning. Alright, so when we go back home, all of the lectures are recorded through Panopto. I like Panopto, I like the technology, but the cameras are an issue, and so they're trying to upgrade the cameras, and I'm probably going to switch to a different method. Instead of an actual camera, I'm probably going to do things and try to overlay them on a whiteboard, a virtual whiteboard. But for right now, this is the best I got. And so you click on Panopto, it'll load that in a new window. And so this is your class, and these are the videos that are loaded in there. So there are 2 sets of videos. There are newer videos that are recorded in the spring, and then there are this set of videos, the audio is great, but the camera fails later on in the semester, so it won't focus and it won't zoom. These video, the ones further down, so it only goes by 25. So if you want to see the other 25, you have to click that tab at the bottom. But so anyway, these are by date, and then these are by lecture number. So these are older. These are a couple years old. 2.5 years old, I think. And they have good video, but the audio, the microphones in the ceiling didn't work right, so I had to get a directional microphone, and it doesn't sound good when I turn around. So I put both of these up here so you'd have options of what you wanted to look at. And of course, if you have any questions, you can email me or ask me during labs when we see one another. I'm just going to start down at the bottom so you can see what this is all about. So this is the very first lecture. It's from Chapter 1 of Campbell. It doesn't matter what edition you have. Chapter 1 is all the same. It's Intro to Biology. So I'll click on that. The reason I like Panopto is because it does screen capture, right? And you can add in video, which you can see here. And then it also includes the PowerPoints too, so you can see what PowerPoints I'm going over, how much time I'm spending on each PowerPoint, things like that. So This is for the things I write on the whiteboard. I know that it's hard to see. That's why I'm going to probably redo this semester when I get a chance. This is what you see on the screen, what I see on the screen, and these are the PowerPoints that we're covering at the same time. So you can click on the slides, look at the slides, you can click on the screen and see the screen. You can get rid of it if you want, you can speed it up, and this is a great thing about online learning is that if you miss something, you can rewind it. Right? My students in my life classes, they don't have that option, so they can't do that. So, anyway, you need to watch all these lectures through Panopto because the questions from the exams come from what I say and from the PowerPoints. So that's what you need to focus on. There's no way that we can cover all the material in that giant book that you have, and if you buy the half section, that's half of the giant book, in one semester. So I have to pick and choose what I think is important, and will help better you whatever field you go to in relating to biology. Alright, so with that said, Panopto is the main way for me to disseminate the lectures to you guys. Alright, so all the lectures are in Panopto. I have the PowerPoints individually, so you can look at the PowerPoints by themselves if you want. If you don't want to listen to me talk or whatever, you can download them. I'm just going to open it so you can see. And I believe all students at MCC, I mean, unless they changed it, have access to Microsoft Office 360 for free. You should contact the IT if you don't have that or you don't know how to get it. But you should be able to open these and then go through them. So, you know, the first slide excuse me, basically talks about biology and what the root of that is, but it's a little deeper than that because this is kind of a hard class because we're talking about biology, which is the study of life. That's probably new to you or somewhat new. And then the reason we're able to be alive is because of chemical reactions. And so because they're in biological systems, we call that biochemistry. So you need to understand chemistry, you need to understand biology, you need to understand biochemistry. And a lot of students haven't had chemistry when they take this class, so that makes it difficult. And then it also becomes more difficult because a lot of these words are like a foreign language. And the reason is because they're all Greek and Latin. So, I mean, a lot of you guys are going to end up taking anatomy, and ana means up, and tomi means to cut. So anatomy literally means to cut up. It's from Greek and Latin. So anyway, I will put the Greek roots on the slides occasionally. Let me see if I can find one that has it. And the reason I do that is because if you learn these roots, then it will help you understand what we're talking about, right? So it doesn't sound like Greek and Latin, which it literally is. And this is an example too. So like dasypus is derived from the Greek name dasypotidae, which is the Greek for turtle rabbit. So armadillos literally were named turtle rabbits from the Greek turtle rabbit. So that's why it has the scientific name. If you read this out, it would mean 9-banded turtle rabbit. So that's a 9-banded armadillo. That's what they called it. All right. So back home, and you'll see all the PowerPoints are laid out by all the order that we're going to cover each of these. Generally, we cover 4 or 5 chapters. So your first exam will cover chapters 1 through 5. Second exam 6 through 9. Third exam 10 through 13, I believe, and then your fourth exam is 14 through 17. So, like I said, you're learning a foreign language, and so you have to learn these words. kind of like a vocabulary lesson. I made crossword puzzles because I thought it might be more fun to do instead of memorizing things off of index cards. But you don't have to do these if you don't want. It's up to you. I just did it because I thought it would be a more fun way to learn. So you can download this if you want. You click on this link. It's a PDF. So essentially the complete genetic code of an organism is 2 across, and that is genome. So genome here. And then, so I encourage you to fill these out and then learn the words that I put on here because they're important words. And then if you're not sure if you got the answer right or not, I put the answers to the crosswords right here so we can check and see if I'm right. Very, very certain I am. So genome is 2 across. Okay, so every chapter has a study guide. Chapter 2 or 1 actually has 2 study guides. So make sure you guys answer these questions and do the study guides for that. The study guides aren't comprehensive. They're just to give you an overview of the things that you should know, the important general topics. But remember, the tests come from what I say and what's on the PowerPoints. And it's not just that. You have to apply it to real-world situations. So you're going to have to learn the material and then use it in specific applications when I ask you questions on the exam. The quizzes will give you ideas of how I expect you to apply that. So I'll show you the quizzes in a second. So anyway, let's talk about kingdoms. Is one of the first things that we learn. And so you can go through there. And so, for example, which is the acceptable way to write the scientific name for humans? Humans are Homo sapiens. So I can tell you right away that I know that this one is not correct because this letter right there is capitalized. It's not supposed to be. It is italicized. That's correct. This is underlined, but again, that shouldn't be capitalized because that's not how it's written. This is incorrect because the genus should be capitalized and the species should be lowercase. So that's incorrect. This one is italicized. The first letter of the genus, Homo, which is from the root, which means same. Human, as opposed to same. And then sapien means wise. So wise human is what Homo sapiens really literally means. And so this is the correct answer, D. This is uppercase, that's lowercase, and it's italicized. Alright. There are genetics problems when we get to chapter 14 that I'll expect you to do, so make sure that you guys do these because the way that we get good at stuff is practicing. Even sport figures, they practice like all the time. All right. So, genetics problems, the problems are here, and then I have the problems answered here, so you can check your work. Alright, so I record lectures. I mean, obviously I'm not going to give you guys lectures, but I will record lectures. In my other classes. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays I have in-person classes, both at Southern Adoption and Red Mountain. The Southern Adoption class is first, so I'll probably post those lectures as opposed to the Red Mountain lectures. I guess it just depends on which class seems more excited about biology. These are past lectures, so these are individual audios from basically the same recording slides that are in Panopto. And so if something happens, like I'm sick and I missed one of the lectures, we have a backup so that we don't have to go back and do that lecture and we can stay on track. So that's the home. Sometimes I get sick, and so, or something happens, my kids get sick or whatever. So I will let you know. I'll give you an announcement. So these are kind of old announcements, and I want to delete them. There. So I'll put announcements in here, saying basically my car blew up or my dog ran away or whatever, and then I'll let you know that I'm not going to be in class. So make sure you guys check the announcements before you leave to go to school, just to make sure that something horrific hasn't happened to me. All right, so your assignments are here. All the things that are due that you have to actually turn in or do online are listed here. So you have quizzes. Every chapter that we cover has a quiz in it. The quizzes for all of the chapters are due the day before the exam that covers those chapters. So for example, your first exam is on September 27th. That time is not right. I've got to fix that time. Your exams are from 2 to 3:15. So I'll change that. Anyway, so we click on this chapter 1, and so chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, all 5 of those are on the first exam, so that's why they're all grouped together. So we click on this, it'll take you to the quiz, it'll tell you how many points it's worth, and how much time you have. I don't know why this isn't right. This should be 10 minutes. I'll fix that as well. I don't generally count off points for going over time, but it's sort of my insurance policy to make sure that you guys aren't, using other references or searching it up on Google or whatever, that you're learning this on your own so that you know the answers to these when you get to the test. These quizzes are only 10% of your grade. I allow you 3 attempts, and I take the highest 10 out of 16 quizzes that you take. So these aren't worth very much, but the exams are. So the exams are worth 150 points each, and they comprise 60% of your grade. So it's in your best interest to take these quizzes genuinely and try to answer these questions, because these are very similar to the questions that you'll see on the test. Alright, so anyway, we can go through here and look. What's the main source of energy for producers and ecosystem? That's going to be light energy. So I'm not going to answer the rest of them. I can submit the quiz. Okay. It'll tell you if you didn't answer any of them. Right? So I didn't answer that one. I did get that correct, so congratulations to me. So anyway, it won't tell you what. It'll tell you that if you got it right, and it'll tell you if you get it wrong. But it won't tell you what you got wrong because, like I said, you get another attempt. There's a bank of questions, so it's in your best interest, even if you get 10 out of 10 on your first try, to take it again, because, like I said, you'll see questions that are similar to the ones you'll see on the exam, and it's in your best interest to practice this stuff, because the more you practice, the better you're going to get. It would be like if I asked you to play, Eruption by Eddie Van Halen or Mozart's Piano Concerto No. 4, and you didn't know how to play guitar or piano, and then you waited till the day before, and we're supposed to get up in front of 100,000 people and play that. You're going to get nervous, and they call that test anxiety if you haven't practiced. But if you practice a little every day, then you're going to be a lot better, and you're going to be more comfortable with it. And so I strongly recommend that you guys take this at least all 3 attempts. Alright, and don't wait till the last minute to do it. I would take it after you finish the lecture on that chapter. So I'm going to go back to home. I'm sorry, we're at time. Okay, so here's all the quizzes. There are 7 at-home labs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so all the at-home labs are standalone labs. They're not part of the lab manual. They may use part of the lab manual, but they're not actually part of the lab manual. So you have to click on them, and then they're individual documents. So you click on the documents here, and then it will download the Word documents, and then it will ask you to watch some YouTube videos. And if any of these links are dead, let me know. I haven't checked them. I assume they're still good because it's only been the summer that I redid this. So anyway, this is the background on the metric system and how it was developed. And I would bet most of you people, most of the class doesn't know how the metric system was actually developed. But it's a pretty amazing story. So I wrote a little bit about that, and then I want you guys to practice doing things in the metric system. So I don't know if you know this, but the leading 4 causes of death last year were: number 1 was heart disease, 2 was cancer, number 3 were medical mistakes. And the reason is because a lot of people in the medical field don't know the weight of, or the amount of things in metric units, right? So you might know what a gallon looks like, but you might not know what a milliliter looks like. Or you might know what a pound is, feels like, but you might not know what a kilogram or a gram is. And so your medication comes in milligrams. It doesn't come in pounds or ounces. When you inject drugs into individuals at the hospital or whatever, those come in milliliters, or more commonly cc's, which is the exact same thing. It just sounds fancier when doctors say, I need 5 cc's. They really need 5 milliliters, and that will talk about that in this. So the purpose of this exercise is to get you guys used to the metric system. It's not your fault. Probably most of you grew up in the United States, so blame the United States. So how many grams does a penny weigh? Do you know? And when you get your lab kit, you'll get a scale in there, and you'll be able to actually weigh it. So you can estimate what it is. I want you to guess. It's no wrong or right. I just want to see. It'll be fun, right? See how close you are, and then actually measure the weight. And I want you to write this in, and then you're going to do the same thing for just random containers around your house. How many milliliters do you think they hold? What do they actually hold? And you'll get a graduated cylinder in your kit, and you can actually do that. So this is where you're going to use your lab manual that you have to buy in the bookstore, and then you'll do conversions in the Appendix E. Don't do A, that's the wrong one. And then take pictures of all this stuff and then submit it through Canvas, and I'll show you how to do that. So let me close this out, and we'll go back to the assignments tab. So that's the same for all the at-home labs. In-person labs, these are the last days that you can actually attend this lab. So if you're in group 1 and you're doing odd weeks, so you meet on the first week and the third week and the 5th week and so on. If you miss that week, the 2nd week and the 4th week and so on, they're going to be doing the same lab. So it's a possibility that you can switch labs, that you can, if you miss the first lab, then you can come to the 2nd lab, or if you're in the 2nd lab and you need to come early, you know that you're going to miss, then you can do that. But there's only so many chairs, so you have to let me know if you're going to switch labs on me, so that I don't end up with 50 people in the lab, because that would be a fire and an OSHA hazard, and they wouldn't allow that. So each of these labs, there's nothing that you have to do. The labs are worth 25 points. All you got to do is show up and do the lab, right? I'll check it while we're in the lab, and each of these are worth 25 points. This is extra credit, so all these assignments are extra credit. Like we said, post a picture on Canvas. That's due September 6th. If you have September 6th or 7th when I wake up, I'm going to go through there. I'm going to see who has a picture and who doesn't. If you got a picture, I'm going to give you 10 points. If you don't, I'm not going to give you any. The cricket assignment here, I think this link is fixed. You just check it. So this is just a fun exercise to learn the scientific method. I want you to do the tutorial and the cricket. So you go through there and say, okay. So when scientists and even regular people set out to solve a problem, they follow a series of steps referred to the scientific method. So how many do you think there are? How many different ways do you think you could figure out how to get to Flagstaff? Yeah. And it's not just one, right? That's wrong. It's more than 100. Because there's different ways to get to Flagstaff, right? The end goal is that you want to solve a problem, right? So a classic scientific method would be your lights went out and you turn on a flashlight to see and it doesn't work. So what are you going to do? Shake it? Probably not going to help. So you're going to have to go through and figure out what's wrong with your flashlight. So you can change the batteries, right? And you're using the scientific method doing that. Because you have to figure out how a flashlight works. It's called an educated guess to make a hypothesis, because if you didn't know how a flashlight worked, you didn't know it worked on batteries, you wouldn't know to replace the batteries. So you ask yourself a question: why doesn't my flashlight work? Then you form a hypothesis. Maybe it's the batteries. Then you do an experiment. You change the batteries. What's the outcome of the experiment? Either it turns on or it doesn't. If it doesn't, you could probably assume it's not the batteries, it's maybe the bulb. And so, you know, there's different ways to go about doing the scientific method. The ultimate goal is to figure out the solution to the problem. Now, you could change the batteries and the bulb at the same time, but that wouldn't tell you what was wrong with the flashlight. You would just fix it, right? So if that's your goal, right, you just want to fix your patient or whatever, then you can do a whole bunch of different things at the same time. But if you want to really know what's wrong with them, then you can only vary one thing. So this is sort of getting you used to that. And thinking like scientists too, right? Like, here's an example. There's an increase in ice cream consumption in the summer in Phoenix every year. And there's also an increase in the amount of drownings. So does that mean that ice cream causes you to drown? Probably not. Did you know that 99% of convicted felons have eaten bread within 24 hours of committing their crimes? Does that mean that eating bread makes you a violent criminal? No. So this is sort of, the purpose of this is to get you used to thinking like a scientist, because that is really important, especially because you're in general biology. You've already decided that you're going to be a scientist, so you need to think like one. All right. So anyway, that's the extra credit assignments, and they're all laid out there. And then here's the exams. So again, the times are wrong. I've got to fix the times here. But essentially, that's all the assignments. And I'll go through that in the syllabus. So if you have any discussions, you can ask here. A lot of people have problems with the cricket assignment. I can tell you, if you don't follow exactly to the letter, a scientific way to get the answer, you're not going to get to the end, and it's going to make you start over, and you're going to probably get frustrated. Well, I don't have a problem with you asking other people in the class, right? Or you can ask me, but I'm probably not going to answer you. So you can post this in here. I'm sure, you know, a lot of people are embarrassed because they feel like they're the only ones that don't get it, but I can tell you from experience, 15 years experience, that half of the class is going to have a problem with this. So you might be the first one, and everybody goes, ah, yes, thank you. All right, so this is important because this is part of the population genetics lab. And so we need to take a little survey. We need to find out if you have free earlobes, or which is a dominant trait, or attached earlobes, which is a recessive trait. So free earlobes means you have like a pronounced earlobe, and then attached means there's not much of an earlobe. It almost pretty much goes right into your face. And then you either have a bent pinky or a straight pinky. So all you got to do is enter this in, and I'll be the first one. So I have a bent little finger, and I have attached earlobes. All right. And anything else you guys want to discuss, you're more than welcome to open this up. I mean, somebody might see a really cool article about, you know, CRISPR-Cas, like how they're editing genomes of mosquitoes to get rid of malaria, or, you know, there's all kinds of crazy biology stuff that's going on. And I'm always interested in that because I don't have time to scour the entire internet. So if you guys find anything interesting, post it on here. Grades are here. Nobody has any grades yet, so I can show you this. Here's the students, so I can tell who has pictures and who doesn't. And then all of your grades will be listed in here. You won't be able to see everyone else's grades, but essentially they'll be the same. So have all the different quizzes and what you missed and everything else. This tells you who else is in your class. This page is a link. There's web links. So biology help videos like crash course, different links to each of the chapters, so on and so forth. And then there's also videos. Some of these are dead, so I've got to get rid of these, but videos of like DNA replication, transcription, splicing, things like that we're going to talk about later on the semester. PowerPoint viewer, genetics problems, examples, all that stuff is in here. So it's just various links, and if you guys find anything interesting, you know, let me know and I can add that in there. These are for the YouTube videos for the labs at home. So you should probably watch these before you do these labs. So this one shows you how to pour plates and how to do the antibiotic discs. This tells you how to do the osmosis and the egg experiment and all the other stuff that you're going to do. So it's in your best interest, and I just moved this frame. So it's in your best interest to watch these videos. This one, I guess the link is missing too, so we're going to fix that. But anyway, it's in your best interest to watch these videos before you do the labs. Syllabus is here, and I'll go over that. The quizzes, that's the same thing. This is chat. So if you can't make it, you want to talk, it's like a Skype feature, you can do that. This is online tutoring services here. I'll just go over this real quick, and then we'll go through back to the syllabus. So, you can just hit Control to block pop-ups, I think. So, I guess... Alright, there we go. So, you can work with a tutor, and you can do drop-in sessions. So, first, we're going to do science and biology. And I think this is timed. I think you get 20 free hours of this, if I'm not mistaken. So I can type in, you know, and they should say so change in Gibbs free energy equals the change in enthalpy minus temperature times the change in entropy, which is the disorder in a system. Well, we'll cover this in lecture. So anyway, I don't have a tutor yet. I don't want to sit here and wait for one. But this is a pretty good resource. I've asked them many questions, and generally they're able to answer. They're able to answer these questions. So, you know, this is a decent resource to go to. You know, since I write the exams and teach the class, I'm probably the best tutor that's available, and fee is nothing. It's free. You just got to come during my office hours. So if I'm not available or if you can't meet me during my office hours, this is your next best way to get help outside of class. All right. So syllabus. Click on the link here, and that will open the syllabus. So this is me. My name is Louis Miller. I have a PhD, like I said. This is my email. This is the one that you should use. I'm rarely in my office, so I hardly ever answer the phone, so it's pretty much worthless to call me, but if you can't get a hold of me any other way, that's probably okay way to do it. You might not get a response for a week. My office, I have two offices. Southern Dobson is in the nursing building, NU183, and then at Red Mountain, it's in the Swar building, which is S268, which is upstairs on the second floor. My office hours are Tuesday, Thursday from 9:30 to 10:20, or 9:35 to 10:25 at Southern and Dobson. On Wednesday from 10:05 to 10:55, again at Southern Dobson, and on Friday from 11:35 to 12:25 at Southern Dobson. But my office hours on Friday will be in LS 109 because I'm running a special projects class. We're doing some biotechnology stuff in the biotech lab. So we're going to grow human fibroblasts, which are skin cells, and then we're going to try to edit those genes using the CRISPR-Cas, which you probably have heard on the news. And this is work on a human disease called Snyder-Robinson syndrome. And then on Tuesday, I have office hours from 7:35 to 8:25 at the Red Mountain campus. And then, like I said, online you can make an appointment with me, and I'm free on Mondays. Or if there's something you can't make any of these, I'll be around Fridays for most of the day doing research in this lab. So you're welcome to drop in, and I can help you out as long as I'm not busy doing something else. But I'm going to block off this time to try to make sure that I'm not doing anything, so I'll be available to help you guys. All right, so the lecture's online, right? Canvas, all the tools we just went through. The labs are in person. The reason they're in person is because they involve expensive pieces of equipment like $10,000 microscopes and $20,000 centrifuge that I couldn't get you to buy and use at home. So when you come in, the reason you're coming in is because there's no way in heck that you would be able to do those labs at your house. So I've sort of classed people in groups 1 or 2, but if you look at your MCCD schedule, you'll see that actually has you guys grouped in on either even weeks or odd weeks. So, for example, if I pull up the calendar, I'm not sure if you can see this whole thing, but so the group 1 would be scheduled on the 23rd. And if you look at your MCCD schedule, your lab, it'll show you meet on the 23rd and then on the 6th again. Right, the group 2 would be on the 30th, and then they would meet again on the 13th, and so on. And so that's how it's set up. I just sort of grouped it together so I could make this syllabus more clear. But you can check your lab section or your schedule to make sure what dates you're available. Somebody blew themselves up at Berkeley messing with sodium metal and started a fire. So OSHA made new standards for chemical hygiene and safety. So you have to wear long pants and skirts. You have to completely cover your legs, and you have to wear closed-toed shoes. They don't care about your upper body, apparently, so you can wear sleeveless shirts or whatever you want. But you're not allowed to be in the lab if you don't wear these things. Like I said, what I do is I keep an extra pair of shoes in my gym bag, and then some just sweatpants, and that way if I forget, because sometimes I do, then I can just throw that on and I'm good to go. The lab kit is required, so like I said, you have to order it from here, and then I need you to order it by August 31st. here's the textbooks. So you can look up the ISBN numbers on Amazon if you want. So these are the various textbooks. There's the newest edition is the 11th edition of Campbell and Reese. This is the ISBN. And so you can also use the 10th edition, the 9th, or the 8th edition. They're basically all the same. The publisher just makes them, if they kept the same version of the book, so the same edition of the book, then they wouldn't make any money because students would just return the book and then, you know, people would buy it used, and so it would just be a continuous cycle. So they make new editions, and by law they have to change 25% of it. What they change is not the wording, but generally the pictures. And so these editions are not very different from one another as far as wording. It's just these images are a lot more polished than these images in the 8th edition. If you're taking 182, you'll probably need the full book because the second half, it covers Bio182. If you don't need 182, or you're not planning on taking 182, then you can get the half edition that they sell in the bookstore. You can also get the half edition if you're taking 182, but you're going to have to buy the other half when you take 182. Regardless of what version of the book that you use, you don't need the Mastering Biology CD. We use Canvas because it's free and it's very similar to that. A lot of the students haven't had chemistry, and so I encourage you to buy this book, Chemistry for Biology Students, either the 8th or 9th edition. They're both very similar to each other. I think this one's $45 and this one is $15. I put the ISBN numbers in here as well. Lab manual is required. You're going to have to go to the bookstore and buy that. There's no other place to get it. These are the computer requirements. Course description, like I said, the class is pretty simple. 4 exams worth 150 points each. That's 60% of your grade. 10 internet quizzes, so you take 16. I drop the lowest 6, and then you get to retake each of those 3 times. That's 100 points or 10% of your grade. And then the lab. So if you come in and you do the labs, then you get 25 points for each lab. So there's 12 of those, so that gives you 300 points, and that's 30% of your grade. I allow you to drop 1 in-person lab, so you can skip a in-person lab, and 1 at-home lab, so without penalty. After that, you're going to lose points. I don't give makeup exams, but if there's extenuating circumstances, then I might allow you to take it early. If you miss an exam, your final exam counts twice, so it's worth 300 points automatically. You have to take the final exam. You can't get out of it. I mean, you could not take it, but you're going to lose a whole letter grade. And then at least 2 lecture exams. Internet quizzes, like I showed you, they're on Canvas. So internet quizzes, I showed you that those are online in Canvas. I don't take attendance in lecture. Obviously, it's online, so it's up to you. But I promise you, if you don't watch the videos, that you're probably 90% sure you're not going to pass the class. We said you have to take 6 in-person labs and 6 at home, so you get to drop 1, like I just said. There's no makeup labs, but you can switch labs as long as it's within 1 week, right? You can't. The lab techs set it up for 2 weeks for the hybrid, and then they tear it down. So group 1 can go to group 2s, and group 2 can go to group 1s, but not on different sections, so you can't do different labs. This just shows you where Canvas is. Don't just stop coming to class because you'll end up with a Y. If you talk to me and let me know that there's something going on or whatever, I can withdraw you to the very end of the semester, so it's not a problem. Just make sure you communicate with me so I know what's happening. Don't cheat. If you have a disability, you can talk to Disability Resources, and then they'll help you set up a plan so that we can accommodate you. And although this is going to be a great class, and I'm sure you want to, invite your mom or whatever to the labs, you can't because our insurance doesn't cover that. There's an early alert system. You have to completely voluntary. You can sign up for that. Veterans, you can take advantage of special services provided by Veteran Services. We talked about tutoring through smart thinking. This is the lab schedule, so labs at home. This is when they're due, and these are the videos you need to watch for each of them. They're all the same for everyone. And then the labs at school. So like, for example, group 1, which would be odd number weeks, August 23rd. You'll do the Protus lab first, right, on the 23rd, which is unit 3. And then group 2, you'll do it on August 30th. And again, you can check your MCCCD schedule to make sure that you're going to the right lab. So this is the layout here. This particular week here, there's not going to be any class meetings. You're going to go to the anatomy study lab in NE157, and you're going to complete the chemistry assignment on your own. I could have had you guys do this models at home, but it would have increased the price of the kit by $25, and I figured that you could just come to school and use the school molecular models. So whenever I set up this class, they said, how are you going to make sure students don't cheat on exams? And I said, well, I'll make them come in and take exams. So you have to come in and take exams in person. These are the exam dates. They're scheduled from 2 to 3:15. And I'll tell you what you need for these, but generally you need a Scantron, a green Scantron you get from the bookstore, number 2 pencil, a calculator, and a periodic table. And then I will put the link for the YouTube video right here so that you can view this if I can't get it uploaded in Panopto. This is just a recommended schedule, so this is what I would give to my in-person class. So if September 6th rolls around and you're on chapter 1, you're 2 chapters behind already. So this is just to give you an idea of if you're keeping pace or not with the class. This lays out the exam dates and all that other stuff, and when holidays are, and that's pretty much it. So, like I said, if you have any questions, the best way to get a hold of me is through email. I wouldn't call me, and then you can come to my office hours, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. I want to make this video because I won't see a lot of you guys until I think the 30th. Yeah. So, that's a pretty long time to wait to delay the start of the class. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys know what you're supposed to do. Start watching the lectures online through Panopto, and then start doing your assignments, order your lab kit, get your books, and all those other things that you need for the class. So like I said, if you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you on the first day of lab. All right. Welcome to 181.